Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 74. And today, we need to discuss the biggest shock and awe-inspiring moment from the last manga chapter, which had everything from Boruto and Kawaki being dog-walked by Damon, to Ada making the various people in Konoha into her love slaves, to Amado's reveal about Boruto and Kawaki's future powers finally being upon us. While all those things did stand out, the truth is that there was one moment that raised a lot of eyebrows and made a part of the fandom lower its head in collective shame, which is our boy Konohamru got dunked on yet again in Boruto's manga, and it had people wondering, can Konohamru be brought back from the edge of darkness for his character, or if it even made sense for Konohamru to react in the way that he did when he met Ada. It's been a hard road for Konohamru. Even the biggest Konohamru fan has to admit that. Fans went from expecting him to be to Boruto's generation what Kakashi was to Naruto's generation, the cool alpha sensei who took away the collective breaths of his students as he served as a benchmark for them for what it meant to be a shinobi. However, we've seen Al just utterly embarrass the man. Kawaki showed up Konohamru by destroying the robots that Konohamru struggled with. Jigen in the anime made Konohamru into a pincushion. Ishiki destroyed Konohamru. Though, if we're being fair, Jigen did dogwalk Naruto and Sasuke on Father's Day, and Ishiki had Naruto and Sasuke contemplating whether or not they're gonna write out the will, so we can't really hold that one against Konohamru, but there is more. Even when Team 7 was fighting in the manga, Naruto was hoping to stay out, though some people would say even if Konohamru got involved, he'd just get destroyed on sight because his entire team has surpassed him in power. Boruto and Kawaki would just send him off to meet Asuma and the third Hokage. Mitsuki would likely do the same thing, and Sarada would likely punch him back into relevance, which means punching him back through the timeline to Naruto Shippuden's era. Now, Konohamru has been looking at Ada with extra thirsty eyes, and he has clear intentions of trying to make her into his lady, and Konohamru wanting to be the lord of the household that he would share with his newfound lady not named Hanabi Hyuga is something that everybody saw was clearly on the boy's mind, because our boy was as down bad as Denji is in Chainsaw Man. However, if Konohamru was trying to be a lord, all Konohamru had to do was visit Established Titles, which is going to be the sponsor of today's video. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping with global reforestation efforts. It's a project based in historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, or lords and ladies in English. With Established Titles, you get at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with the crest, which has a unique plot number to show you your land. Established Titles plants a tree with every order they receive and work with charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. Just as Naruto gets to call himself Lord Hokage, you can officially call yourself Lord or Lady, which now that I have this certificate calling me a Lord, it's going to be on my desk, and everybody who comes to my office has to call me the Lord. And you can get it on your credit card or your plane tickets, or you sussy bakas can even use it on your dating profiles. If you go for the romantic route, you can also purchase the couples pack, which comes with adjoining plots of land. The first 200 people purchasing the title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance from it. Depending on how many of you guys want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Naruto Explained kingdom. My late grandmother, who just passed away, not only loved flowers but also trees as well, so I'm gonna purchase one to honor my late grandmother. It makes an amazing last minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an early Black Friday sale, plus if you use the promo code EXPLAIN, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/explain to get your gift and help support the channel. Thank you again to Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. However, I don't think Konohamru being a simp for Ada is a bad thing, and honestly, it's time we had a real conversation with anyone who's getting upset about it. Let's throw out the fact that he's the third Hokage's grandson, who is one of the biggest pervs in the manga, or the fact that Konohamru was looking at adult magazines with Naruto when they were children. Here are the facts that we need to keep in mind. All of us who came into Boruto with high expectations for Konohamru set them too high. Wanting him to be the Kakashi of this generation was way too much to ask for if you know anything about Kakashi. Yes, Konohamru had the talent as a shinobi and was part of Naruto's generation, which, as a reminder, Konohamru is roughly 4 years younger than Naruto. But here's the thing. While Konohamru did finish the the run of Naruto's manga very skilled, having mastered fire release and wind release by the end of Naruto's manga, according to Data Book 4, and having picked up lightning release as an adult. Here's the thing we gotta keep in mind. Konohamaru was never gonna be the Kakashi of Boruto's generation, which is no disrespect to Konohamaru. Konohamaru, if you drop him in Naruto's manga, Konohamaru actually ranks up quite well. The reason why is Kakashi's just a different breed, and sometimes I think people forget how big of a monster Kakashi is even without the Sharingan. Kakashi graduated from the academy at age 5 before the retcon was made to his age later on in the manga, and he became a Jonin at the age of 12. For reference, the Sound Force struggled with special Jonin who are weaker than normal Jonin, yet Kakashi made that rank at the same age that Konohamaru was in early part 2 of Naruto, and Kakashi was already one of the stronger Jonin in the village at that point. Kakashi was known as a war hero and feared by countless countries for his skill with the Sharingan. Even before the Sharingan, he was skilled enough that he felt confident that he could do what his own sensei couldn't, which is add lightning changing chakra nature to the Rasengan, and in his failure to do so, he ended up creating the Raikiri, one of the most busted jutsu in the series. In the Ninja Escapades OVA that Masashi Kishimoto wrote, Kakashi did very well against the suppressed Minato in their fight. Kakashi made a name for himself on the battlefield during the war as well as a member of the Anbu Black Ops. Kakashi's name had enough respect to it that members of the Akatsuki, each Kage tier fighters, acknowledged his power, with Itachi complimenting the skill with his Sharingan despite the fact that he's not an Uchiha, and you also had Kakashi stalemating Hidan and Kakuzu, and even Pain was forced to admit how troublesome Kakashi was. Long before he ever became Hokage, Tsunade was openly saying that Kakashi had the tools to be a Hokage, and the feudal lord was twice on board with making him Hokage at one point before the 4th Great Ninja War. Even the Sage's Six Paths, a man who transcends time and space, saw fit to acknowledge Kakashi's skill and his leadership and his ability as a teacher. Kakashi had all the right conditions during his 31 years of age before he became Hokage in order to prove himself. However, by comparison, Konohamaru's been less fortunate. He and the other Konoha Genin in the back half of Naruto's generation, they weren't allowed anywhere near the battlefield for the 4th Great Ninja War. Konohamaru wasn't given the opportunity to establish his legacy during that point in time. He wasn't able to defeat Temari if we consider the anime filler, though it's worth noting Temari's wind release was strong enough to damage the 3rd Raikage's body with a deep cut, while all the other wind release users could barely pull off any scratches. There's a reason why she's the 2nd strongest wind release user in the alliance after Naruto, but the point still stands, he was below Temari at that same point in time. In the era post 4th Great Ninja War, where missions began to decline, Konohamaru saw less and less opportunities. When Kakashi was sending ninjas out to hunt down rogue ninjas following the 4th Great Ninja War, he sent Naruto and Sai as part of a 2-man team. Konohamaru was still doing simple escort missions for merchants at that time. The Shinobi Union, headed up by Kakashi as Hokage and run by Kage candidates in each village, people like Temari, Kankuro, Amoe, Shikamaru, Darui, Kurotsuki, they ended up picking the teams that were supposed to handle specific missions. None of them ever called on Konohamaru for any of these upper level taxing missions. While Konohamaru is acknowledged by Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru as being an extremely talented shinobi, the best in Konohamaru's age group, but he's still below the older members of his generation like Naruto's Team 7 for obvious reasons. The fact remains that he did nothing to warrant the praise that we as a fandom decided to put onto him. We set the bar too high for the character. Sure, he destroyed a Pain at age 13. Great job, and what can be written off as a one-time thing. And really and truly, he didn't even destroy it. He just inflicted a significant amount of damage that left it out of commission for a short period of time. That same Pain still went on to fight Naruto soon afterwards. While still an accomplishment, one great moment doesn't lend itself to Kakashi level expectations and comparisons. Even with Boruto's own generation, when legends are being talked about from Konohamaru's generation, it's always the members of Konohamaru's generation who aren't Konohamaru. Naruto the war hero, Sasuke the war hero, Sakura the war hero, Hinata the war hero, even Shino and Kiba get praise. Konohamaru, nobody ever mentions him for anything. While he's gone out on special missions, even Konohamaru's own team were surprised to learn that he teamed up with Mujino on past missions to resolve conflicts with smaller nations. The point being, it might be time for us to actually tamper expectations for Konohamaru and Boruto. That's not to say the man's weak. Anyone who can get their chakra drained and still be able to send Jugo flying across the forest, that person isn't weak. Even Kashin Koji acknowledged his power and skill before he served up some fresh Konohamru burgers with an extra side of curly fries. And Kashin Koji as a car and a member is ridiculously strong because he's basically Jiraiya with Hashirama cells infused with nanotech, which makes him stronger. So Konohamaru in this moment, he wasn't exactly fighting a weakling. Even expecting Konohamaru to have moments where he shines, right now it seems less likely. His entire team has surpassed him, and we're dealing with threat levels at multiple characters stronger than Jigen, the same Jigen who beat Naruto and Sasuke. Even if Konohamaru is a genius, there's nothing his skill or his genius IQ could do to make up for the huge power gap that exists between people like Damon and himself. While it was sad to see Konohamaru reduced to comedy, the tragic fact is that he's been a victim in universe of being surpassed by threats and the shinobi under his care. And if we really look at Konohamaru, when you read Naruto's manga, the hell with what you saw in the anime, when you read Naruto's manga, Konohamaru, outside of that moment with pain, Konohamaru was used for comedy aspects. In universe, after the 4th Great Ninja War, his peers in his own generation didn't see fit to have him on any special missions, where the Shinobi Union picked multiple people from across the 5 nations for dangerous high-level missions. And in Boruto, those high-level danger missions are only getting harder and harder to come by. As we were told early on in the series, the number of mission requests is down so much that being a shinobi is now optional. Maybe a time skip can fix Konohamaru, but it would take some insane training to get him to a level that would make him relevant, and it runs the risk of being the Yamcha moment from Dragon Ball, where Yamcha went from a Cyberman's power level to being Ginyu Force power level in the filler, which was only several months of training. And then after 3 years of training, his power level jumped up so high he was mistaken by Dr. Gero for Son Goku. It's a hard pill to swallow. Even with jumps that big, it's still irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, when you look at Yamcha, much like how you look at Konohamaru, you look at him, realize he's strong, but in comparison to the other threats and the other characters around him, he doesn't seem as impressive. He's a victim of what's happening in universe. However, I'll say this though, there is hope for Konohamaru. Stay on the lookout for my collab with Anime Balls Deep as we discuss the 5 ways to fix Konohamaru's character. While you wait for that collab with Anime Balls Deep, click here to watch my collab with ABD on how to fix code, and click here to watch the Chainsaw Man Chapter 109 review on KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN.